Probably says a lot for Dublin that their second best player throughout the game was Stephen Cluxton. And for a guy turning 38 in a few weeks, that's pretty incredible, even if it isn't a goal. Saved the penalty, made a great save from Paul Murphy, and just very safe all game. Couldn't do anything about the goal, obviously not. 9 out of 10 for him. David Byrne, I thought he was 8 out of 10 performance. Carried the ball well out of defence in the first half. Nice block on Paul Gainey early in the second half as well. Good performance. Johnny Cooper, I think it's probably going to be a 5 out of 10. He had to go, and I think you're crazy if you think he shouldn't have been sent off for 2 yellow cards there. Struggled on Clifford from the get-go, and the second yellow I thought was as blatant as you'd see. So Dublin had the game sewn up at that stage, I think, and the red card allowed Kerry back in. So 5 out of 10 for Cooper. Michael Fitzsimons, I'd give him an 8 because he's never going to have an easy task on Paul Gainey, but held him scoreless, moved on to Clifford. Clifford got 1 point off him, but that was just pure majestic. I don't think Fitzsimons could have done more. Maybe drawn a little bit too quickly to Tommy Walsh when Walsh set up Killian Spillane for the goal, but other than that, very good performance. Jack McCaffrey, you don't really give out 10 out of 10s too often, but you'd have to give it on this occasion. One of the great All-Ireland final showings from possibly the best wing-back of all time. 1-3 from play, the only score from play in the second half for Dublin until Dean Rock in the 73rd minute. And it's funny because he was arguably their worst player against Mayo in the semi-final when Paddy Durkin shut him down. But unbelievable stuff from Jack McCaffrey, and just like scored with his right foot, left foot, and fist over the bar as well. Just he can do it any which way you want. James McCarthy, I went 6 out of 10. Like, great save from Paul Gainey early on, very important, but fairly subdued. And like, he is one of the great players over the last 10 years. He picked up Tommy Walsh and Gainey at different stages late on. I suppose when he's back doing man marking jobs, it's very hard for him to play his flowing game from midfield or from wing back, where we've seen him probably do his very best stuff over the years. John Small, 6 out of 10. I think hit the corner flag with an early attempt, ticked for an off the ball foul on Stephen O'Brien, and then given a yellow not long after for another one. Took a whack from goalkeeper Shane Ryan and ended up going off as a blood sub. I'm not really sure how it ended up on his hand, but there you go. And Owen Merchant came in for him and actually probably played better than him. Brian Fenton, I think it's a 5 out of 10. He's never been beaten in the championship, but I don't think that record staying alive has a whole lot to do with his performance here. Hard to think of anything really that stuck out in the game. You often wonder, is he a flat track bully who just dances all over teams when they're under pressure? But I suppose he's had enough good performances for that to be perhaps a bit of a hot take for now. So brilliant player, and could end up being the decisive man in the replay, but 5 out of 10 here. Michael Darmacawley, another midfielder for Dublin that's going to get 5 out of 10, chasing shadows from the get-go and taken off after 52 minutes, replaced by Paddy Small. Not really his day at all. Niall Scully, very, very subdued. Put a lovely weighted hand pass in for Jack McCaffrey's goal, but otherwise it's hard to think of too much that he did that really hurt Kerry. Like, he often does those slaloming runs in from the right wing, and we've seen him score goals with them, but I think a 5 out of 10. Maybe he's doing jobs that we're not fully aware of, that are very important to how the team plays, but can't say I was blown away by this. Conor Callaghan, a lot of talk about after the game that he was very quiet, but I think he was involved in probably a third of the Dublin scores, won by Winner Freeze, scoring a point from play, and had hit 3-6 from 14 shots before the final. 7 out of 10, I would say. Brian Howard, 8 out of 10. Amazing catch from a 50-50 kick out from Stephen Cluxton. It was hanging nicely, which suits Howard, but it was AFL style catch, just knees up on the Kerry player's shoulder. I think it was probably Gavin White. Just a joy to watch him fielding, and that sidestep is just ridiculous, and you can watch it all day. Dropped very deep once Johnny Cooper was sent off. 8 out of 10, always involved. Paul Mannion pointed his first possession, scored another on 16 minutes, but very, very quiet thereafter in terms of end product. Like, he got on the ball a bit. Like, throughout the championship, he's scored 14 of 17 shots before this, and all the ones from ridiculous areas out on the right flank. You know, he's a bit like, Philippe Coutinho with Liverpool back in the day, when he'd always come in from the left and cut onto his right foot. It's a bit like the opposite with Mannion. He's out on the right wing, cuts in on his left, and he'll blast it over from anywhere. Didn't happen from here, and had a couple of really wild attempts that just went badly wide. I'd still give him 7 out of 10 because he was involved in so much and was a threat and had to be watched. Dean Rock going 9 out of 10, just like last year, 3 points from play, and very strong when the ball actually did get into him, and won a couple of 50-50 kickouts as well that I think were important. Kieran Kilkenny then, he was roaming out around the field. Give him a 6 out of 10. I think Gavin Crowley had him in chains at times. Apparently orchestrates everything, but I struggled to nail down where the penetration was throughout that performance from Kieran Kilkenny. But again, he has the quality and might go to town in the replay.